Let's now move to prompt engineering and workflow. I'm so excited to share to you prompt engineering framework. Okay. Teacher, why is prompt engineering frameworks your discussion right now? Because Gabby is actually the educational chatbot is actually it's actually the a powerful educational chatbot inside Gabay. So if there are things that you want to ask that are outside the prompt cards, or you want a quick information, like for example, I need 10 test items about solar system. You don't need to use the prompt card because you want just simple 10 test solar system. Or maybe you're creating your interactive activity for your ILAC or learning action cell. You want 10 funny quotations. Wala yun sa mga prompt cards natin. You can actually use Gabi for that. Okay? So, prompt engineering will help you with this. What is prompt engineering? Prompt engineering is crafting clear instruction to guide large language model like OpenAI, the one that we're using, or Gabay, so that you can have meaningful output. Remember, when you use Gabi, it's garbage in, garbage out. Whenever you use an AI, kahit si Gabi or other AI, the first thing that you need to put in mind when you're asking Gabi question, GIGO. What does GIGO means? Garbage in, garbage out. The quality of your input, which is your question, determines the output. So, why is prompt engineering important? Prompt engineering is important when you're speaking to Gabi because it will give you more efficiency, saves time, you generate accurate answers immediately, clarity, so it removes misunderstandings or irrelevant outputs, and empowerment. What does that mean? You are able to do more. You are able to do more and ask more questions. There are several kinds of prompt engineering. The first one are the quick and simple prompting. There are four kinds of quick and simple prompting. Zero-shot prompting, one-shot prompting, informational retrieval prompting, and creative writing prompting. Ayan na, medyo serious na tayo, no? But these ones are very familiar and this will be helpful for you. Number one, zero-shot prompting. What does that mean? The AI is asked to perform a task without prior examples or context. Ano yung example na yan? Gabby, write a short story about a boy who discovers a magical forest. No context, no example. You just ask the AI to do something for you. That's zero-shot prompting. One-shot prompting gives the AI example to guide its response. Like for example, write a three-line poem about the ocean. You give the example, the waves dance in light, secrets hidden in their depths, a world full of life. Now write one about the forest. So in one-shot prompting, you're actually giving Gabby an example on how to give you a response. Okay? In zero-shot, wala. Tanong agad. Question agad. In one-shot prompting, you give at least one sample to guide its response. Now, ito pa yung common, quick, and simple prompting that we use. Sometimes, or most of the time, we treat an AI like Gabi as a source of information, especially of common knowledge information. So we do information retrieval prompting. In information retrieval prompting, you ask questions like, what are the key features of photosynthesis? What is the solar system? What is an AI? So the act here is information retrieval. Very quick, very simple. Okay. The other one is creative writing prompting. Creative writing prompting is you specifically ask Gabby to write you an imaginative or a content. Like, for example, imagine a future where humans live underwater. Okay? It, and then describe their daily life challenges and intervention. Okay? That's how you do it. That's how we can actually do a lot of prompting. These are simple prompting. Okay. I'm gonna stop sharing right now and let's do an example of simple prompting. I will share all of my screens. Ayan. Para makita nyo ang paggamit ko kay Gabby using simple prompting. Okay, I just need to reload this just to make sure. Ayan. Okay, you can also do this with me. Can you please go to the chat box? Can you give me an example of a zero shot prompting? Can you give me an example of a question that I can ask Gabby? Zero shot prompting is, what did we say about zero shot prompting? No context. No context. For example, right? Tell me, tell me what a quiz. Tell me what a, ano ba yung question ngayon? Tell me what, describe to me what a planet is. Okay. Sabi natin, di ba, we can expand this. We can actually expand Gabi. So that's zero shot prompting. Ayan. Meron na tayo, no? Okay. What if we ask Gabi to write a poem for us? Okay. Write me a poem about Mars. Two stanzas only. Let's see if Gabi can do this. I wanted to give an example, but I don't have something in mind. So there, you can actually have Gabi write a poem for you. The structure doesn't look like a poem because it's expanded. That's one thing that we're working on. But if you minimize it, it might look like a poem as well. So yun. Okay. What else do you want to ask Gabi? We have done that creative as well. Maybe quick thing lang. Write me a 10 item test about the planets of the solar system. True or false item. So, ito na yung mga madalian na kaya natin gawin. Quick things that we can do. Oh, sorry. That's in my chat box pala. Sorry. This is Gabby. Apologies for that. You will see that in my chat box. Ayan, meron ka na. Ayan. So very quickly, Gabby could be used to create prompt cards. In the chat on YouTube, where it says generate a history on geometry. Let's try to see if Gabby could answer that. Generate. Maybe we can be more specific. Maybe generate uh a summary. Ano ba? A summary of history of geometry. Create a summary of the highlights of important, ayan, important events in the development of geometry. Maybe generate a summary of important events. Ayan. So maybe this is something that we could already start with. It says ancient Mesopotamia, Egypt, ancient Greeks, ayan. So if you want to further expand this, maybe you can just copy here. You can say, tell me more about the ancient Mesopotamia and Egyptians uh, geometry. So maybe you can do something like this. So it's like you're discussing and chatting with Gabi. Ayan. So a very quick way. Ayan, write me an MC script for elocution program. Ayan. What is an elocution program? Let's try to write a script. Ayan, yung mga graduation siguro. Write a script for a uh for a for a grade 6 graduation. Tingnan nga natin kung kaya niya. Although very quick lang to ha, very small lang si Gabby. What you can do maybe is to copy and paste, write a script for a grade 6 graduation. This is very open-ended. So maybe we want to limit it, but let's try. Wag ng graduation. Gamitin natin yung sample na ma'am. Elocution program. You know, how many minutes is this? Maybe you can also add how many minutes. Who are the audience? Diba? Write a script for a, ano ba to? High school elocution program that will run for, ano ba? 60 minutes. Okay, notice how I'm adding details. This will maybe help Gabby. Let's try to look if Gabby could do this. It gives you a script. I would understand, make this for, make the script for the MC. Ang ginawa ni Gabby dito na, oh, ayan. Pero kaya naman ni Gabby, no? What you can do now is to copy and paste this. Tapos you need to put, maybe do you have a theme? I don't know if you have a theme. So maybe you can just specify when you talk about it. Okay. So Gabby can do a lot of things. That's what we have established. I want to stop sharing right now. Ayan. If there are no questions, I think I could continue. Prompt engineering frameworks then are very important. If you look at your screen, these are 5 common prompt frameworks. There are a lot of prompt frameworks that you could use so that Gabi or Gabay could actually help you with a more specific output. For example, role, action, context, expectation. When you write what you want Gabi to do, you have to make sure that you specify the role of Gabay. Okay? Action, the context, and even the expectation. Okay? So for example, you are a high school teacher, create a lesson plan on analyzing poetry for your 10th grade class. The class has a range of reading abilities, so activities should be differentiated. The expectation is to provide a detailed plan with objectives, activities, and assessment methods. Look at the pattern. There's role, there's action, there's context, and expectation. Okay? Similarly, the other framework is CARE, C-A-R-E, context, action, result, and even give an example. So for example, a class of diverse learners in your history class is struggling with note-taking during lectures. What do you want Gabi to do? Introduce a structured note-taking method like Cornell notes. What's the result? Students should be able to organize their notes effectively, improving comprehension and recall. You give Gabay an example or Gabi an example. Model the method by taking notes on a short video about World War II and then guiding students to apply it in class. Okay? So that's an example of another prompt framework where you give the AI like Gabi example and result so that your output will be more specific. Okay? Look at race and care. Race and care has context and action and even expectation. Those are very, very important because those are basic components like what Ma'am Ruth has mentioned in our chat box. Context matters. You need to give Gabi a context of what you want to do so that the focus will be more specific. We don't just want to do one-shot prompting. We don't just want to do zero-shot prompting. Instead, we want to use these frameworks to have more specific results. Another thing, what if you are starting with a concern or problem? You can do PAR. What does PAR mean? Okay? PAR is problem, action, result, which means start with problem. Students in your class are struggling with writing cohesive essays. Your action is to introduce a step-by-step writing process, including brainstorming, outlining, drafting, and revising. The result should be students should be able to write clearer and more structured essays. That's PAR. Okay? Or we can convert. Let's use the example of Ma'am Ruth. What's your problem? You are an MC for the elocution program. What do you want, Gabby? Write me a complete MC script or a script that I can use as an MC for the following parts. Okay, so there are parts that you will add for the program. Opening prayer, welcoming remarks, whatever part. The result should be a clear script that has a complete it's a script that the MC could use for all the different parts of the program. Okay? What else? Similarly, this is my favorite, STAR. Oh, someone is asking privately. Don't worry, we will give you a handout of all the modules that we've started since Saturday. We will give you a handout of this, including the prompting framework. So don't worry about it. We'll give you more materials that you can use. Okay. So STAR, this is my favorite. Situation, task, action, and result. An example. The situation is the class has difficulty staying engaged during math lesson. The task, develop an interactive math game to make learning fun and engaging. Action, create a game that encourages students to solve problems in teams with rewards for accuracy. The result, student participation and interaction in math will increase. So, situation, task, action, and result. Okay? Another favorite that you can use. If you're brainstorming with Gabby, you can use this pattern. Help me understand. So for example, help me understand what is a flipped classroom model. Okay? And then you can continue discussion. Explain how teachers can use technology for flipped classroom. And then you could continue. It's like Socratic model. I don't know if you're familiar. Socratic model means once an answer is given to you, you also further ask questions so that, or you can also ask Gabay or Gabi to make it Socratic for you. What does that mean? Baliktad. After Gabi gives you an answer, Gabi will ask you a question so that you'll be prompted to dig deeper. Okay? So there. What are our examples? Can you take a screenshot for now? These are the most common frameworks that you can use. RACE, PAR, CARE, STAR, help me understand. There's a private question. Sir, kailangan ba naming isulat na parang ganito? Context, blah, 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 blah. Action, blah, blah, blah. No. These are visual guide. What we want you to do is to make this as your mental guide. It's your mental model. You don't have to say the context is, the action is, the result is. No. What you can do now, because this is a mental model that you have learned, dire-diretsyon ka na. You don't have to specify what context is. You can just say, I am a teacher teaching diverse learner, blah, blah, blah. I want to introduce a structured note-taking. So, no more na, no more na. But if you want to start with that so that you'll be more mindful, okay lang din. But then in the end, this is not just a visual guide. This is a mental model that you can actually use in your own brain so that when you type with Gabay or any other AI, that is something that should be helpful for you. Is that clear? Teachers, can you do thumbs up if these are helpful? Yan. Yes, I want to go back. Ayan. Prompt framework. Okay? Can you take a screenshot? Para mas maganda yung ano, tapos mag-practice tayo with Gabay, no? With Gabi. There's a question here. Can you use this with other like ChatGPT? Of course. This is a secret that we want you to learn, not just for Gabay, but for everything, every AI that you will be using. Hindi naman po kami madamot sa sharing of ideas. We actually want to help every teacher. Okay, thumbs up if you have taken a screenshot of this so that we can experiment. There's a question, sir. Does Gabi have the same level of generative capability versus other Gen I or Open AI? By the way, I think if you have explored our disclaimer page, if you have explored, let me just stop sharing, because we're not keeping it as as a secret as well. Um, Sorry, had to be honest, we're not like the other AI developers. They are scared or they don't want to share, be transparent with their clients. We are very transparent with our clients. If you go to AI and information disclaimer, you would see that there is a data usage and management with Gabay powered by OpenAI LLM. So we're very open in saying that we use OpenAI's large language model, the advanced version of OpenAI's large language model. What does it mean then? This means that ChatGPT and Gabay are using the same large language model. We're not ChatGPT. We are not ChatGPT, but we are using OpenAI's model as well, large language model. So that puts us as par, or maybe what we want to say is we're giving teachers a more efficient way of using generative AI. I hope that answers Sir Peter Paul your question. So we use OpenAI so we can produce the same output as well. What we're doing right now is simply to make sure that we streamline and everything according to teacher tasks. When you go to ChatGPT, Gemini, Copilot, or whatever, they're more for a general consumer side. What we've done is to create Gabay and really design this with the teacher in mind. ChatGPT, Gemini, Copilot, any other AI that you're using, they're mainly for the general user. Okay? What we've done with Gabay is to design this with the teacher in mind. So there's intentionality. So there. Okay? Are you ready to practice? Let's try to practice with Gabby. Okay, try to log in again. Go to your Gabay or Gabi accounts. And let's try to maximize Gabi. Okay? Okay. This is an example of a prompt card that I have already prepared. Okay? Or not a prompt card. Look at this one. I copied this a while ago. This is the PAR, problem action result. So I'm just gonna copy this one. Okay? And then put that in Gabi. Apologies, nakita niyo yung marami kong notes. But I'm gonna copy this one. So I followed the PAR, problem, action, result. And let's see. So students in your class are struggling with writing cohesive essays, introduce a step-by-step writing process, including brainstorming, outlining, drafting, and revising. At the end, students will be able to write clear, more structured essay. So I followed the PAR, problem, action, and result. So this is something that Gabay has actually, or Gabi has actually given me. So a more specific, a more detailed way of prompting with Gabi. Okay? What else? Teachers, can you give me sample prompts that you want to ask? Let's follow some frameworks. Let's go to the frameworks. The frameworks that I've seen, that I've shared is raise, action, context, expectation, problem, action, result. I showed you with that already. context, action, result, example. Help me understand. So try to go to Gabay or to Gabi and then try to put on a question. Okay? Or a prompt. So let's do again. Role, action, context, expectation. So let's try. You are you are a grade school math teacher. Action. You want to explore flip learning to engage students when they are at home. What's your action? Suggest a plan for me on how to go about using flip learning for my math class. Give me a sample activity for this. Okay? So let's try. I think we followed race, role, action, context, and expectation. Ayan. So meron ng sagot. How would you proceed? Sabi niya, as a grade school math teacher, you can do something like this, introduction to flip learning, familiarize yourself, choose suitable topics. Ayan, meron na rin siyang giving main ideas, create pre-recorded lectures, assign pre-learning tasks, and then meron ka ng sample learning activity, problem solving challenge. Okay? So you can have something like this, which you can talk more about so that you can maximize Gabi as your sidekick as well inside the platform. What if you want to understand something? Like for example, sabi niya dito, no, help me understand. What's something that you are curious about, teachers? Help me understand Singaporean math. Um, let's do Socrative method for this. Socrative method is, tingnan natin kung kaya niya, no? Gabi gives an answer pero pinaprompt niya tayo to ask more question. Let's do something like this. Ayan. So you now have certainly, user, what is Singaporean math? Ayan, Gabi. Meron na kayong question and answer. Ayan. Inunahan na rin tayo. So, what if we say, no, let's go one question at a time. So, you can also prompt if naunahan kayo ni Gabi. Okay, yan. Feel free to ask questions one at a time. Para hindi kayo ma-brain dump as well. So, kaya naman pala ni Gabi mag-adjust to our own liking. Alright? So, teachers, I'll stop sharing for now. How are we with our experiment with Gabi? All right. Thank you for those who are responding. Ayan, even our YouTube friends are doing thumbs up. Ayan, maraming salamat. So, if there are no more questions, let's try to go to the next part. This is our the final session, which I think is very important to understand, no? Workflow. What do you mean by workflow, no? Workflow simply means that there is a proper way of working with Gabay. Just looking for my slides. Where is my workflow slides? Okay, teachers, very quickly, no, what is a workflow? In this session, workflow simply means is a structured sequence of tasks or steps designed to achieve a specific goal efficiently. It's like doing a diagram of the task that you want to do, but in a very precise, very structured manner. Why? For efficiency and effectivity. You know where you know where what your goal is. You know how to proceed by identifying the different steps that you will use so that you'll be able to achieve your goal. That is a workflow. It's a structured sequence of tasks or steps. Gabay could be very overwhelming when you're doing lesson planning. It might overwhelm you because there are a lot of things that you want to do. So you want to focus on a very specific workflow that could help you maximize gabay. You don't want to do open shut prompting. You don't want to do open-ended prompting or whatever all the time. You want a more precise, a more goal-oriented way of using gabay. So for example, workflow number one, lesson planning, but you want to do lesson planning, but your goal is to differentiate that lesson plan. So in your mind, your goal is to create a differentiated lesson plan that integrates not just the activities, but even assessments. So your workflow could be something like this. Your number one prompt card to use will be the 21st century lesson plan designer. Okay? So that you'll be able to align your structures and your needs. If you are sure with what you want to do, you can actually jump directly to the differentiated activities planner to look at different activities that cater to different skills and levels. If you want to go further with differentiation, you can also use learning gamifier. And at the same time, because you want to use learning materials, do you want to create materials that will be according to their abilities for differentiation? Because in the lesson planning, you want differentiation based on ability, you can use the text and article differentiator. So this is like a workflow where you begin with lesson planning, and then you now go more specifically as well to what you want to do specifically, like differentiation with gamification or whatever. Okay. And then you can then go to the last part, which is working on learning resources or materials that you can use in your class. So text and article differentiator. So this is an example of a workflow that focuses on differentiated learning. I use this as an example because I know that a lot of us want to do differentiated or personalized learning in our classroom. Pero it's difficult to do because it's very taxing. We don't have access to such differentiators like articles. So this is something that you can use, okay, as a workflow. What's another workflow that you want to do? What if your goal is to design a formative assessment and provide meaningful feedback for your students? Okay, you can start with the assessment creator. Usually, because you want to create a formative assessment, you need to make sure that your formative assessment is aligned to a higher order thinking skill or summative assessment. Why am I saying that step one, HOTS test items? Because in backward design, you always start with your summative assessment. In reality, though, what we do is to do the practice test first before we design the HOTS test items. Theoretically, in education, that is actually incorrect because you want to make sure that all your practice tests are aligned to your summative assessment. So ideally, what you want to do is to start with the HOTS test items creator, which will give you then your summative assessment. Because you know your summative assessment, what you can do now is to plan your formative assessments through formative assessment creator so that all your worksheets, all your drills, all your practice quizzes are aligned to the test item. That's the idea of backward design. So in this workflow, you start with your summative assessment. Now that you've defined your summative assessment, you're now ready to create your formative assessment that will actually lead or help the students practice for the summative assessment. That's backward designing. Remember, UBD, understanding by design, backward design. That's the big idea of backward design. Now, Teacher Jim, nag-formative assessment na kami, but I also want to give them feedback on their behavior. You can use the behavior feedback writer in your workflow. And then, what if you want to refine and customize? Pwede ka rin gumamit kay Gabi. Then ultimately, you want this to be sent to your parents. After nakausap mo na si bata, you also want to send this to your parents. Your last would be the email generator. Diba? That's how you do the different workflow. Another workflow, what if, Teacher Jim, I want to support my students who are struggling. This is your workflow also. Okay? Your goal is to develop an intervention plan for students struggling in reading and math. So you use Gabby the chatbot, and then to analyze student performance data, identify common challenges. Yes, by the way, you can use Gabby. You can use Gabby to analyze the performance of your student. Just input the grades of their students, the data, and then ask Gabby to identify common challenges or patterns. After that, you can then use the math or reading intervention planner so that you can have a targeted reading support activities. After that, you're ready with your intervention plan. You will now use the resource builder. And then after that, you will now use the behavior feedback writer. The resource builder will then allow you to customize worksheets, practice exercises, and reference materials that you can use for the intervention plan. Remember the resource builder, the prompt card that's open-ended. And then, of course, you can use the behavior feedback writer to communicate progress with your teachers. Ayan. So that's how workflow also happens. Workflow is important in using Gabay so that you can maximize how you would structure the different ROM cards. Okay? How about Teacher Jim, the ethical use of Gabay? A few reminders to make sure that you ethically use Gabay and other AI platforms. There are four things that I want to remind you. Number one, anonymized data. When you use Gabi or Gabay, don't include PII. PII means personally identifiable information. Avoid writing the complete name of your students. Avoid giving Gabay or us the address of your students, your own address. Use anonymous data. You don't and this is a reminder even with other AI tools like ChatGPT. In ChatGPT nga, because it's free, they can get all your data. Okay? So, anonymized data, that's number one thing. Second, use generic or hypothetical scenarios. You don't say, for example, I have a student named Francis Jim. He has an ADHD. He lives in whatever. His parents are whatever. Please don't put specific data, too much context as well. If you need to add context, you can put generic names, generic scenarios without putting in PII because you need to limit sensitive information. Enable security features as well if there's present. Again, and lastly, don't assume AI privacy. You need to make sure verify AI platforms. In Gabay, for example, we have shown you our information and content disclaimer. Okay? So, for example, again, I just want to go back to our Gabay. So this is Gabay, and when you look to the AI and information disclaimer, we actually give you our disclaimer. Like for example, please don't ask Gabi or Gabay legal or professional advice. We know the limitations of our AI technology. We also have want you to practice user responsibility and all of those things. Okay? So notice as well that we're also transparent with how OpenAI is using your data and what we're doing with your data as well. So we're very transparent and we're very much aligned with privacy laws as well. So this is the thing that we're doing to ensure privacy for everyone. Okay? So there, that's a short note. That's a very quick note on the ethical use of AI, especially because you teachers will be working on different tasks. We don't want you to send in to us your the private information of your students, their names, or even your private information. We don't need them. That is not our business model. Okay? That is not our business model. You don't need your information, your specific data for us to grow into a big company or whatever. Okay? So I'm gonna give you an example. Okay, what if you are asking Gabi to help you with this problem in your school? Take a look at the screen. I'm gonna read it on my own. I'm gonna read it aloud, and I want you to read on your own. This is an unsecured and not so private prompt. Example: here are the test scores of my grade 4 math students. Maria Santos, 85. Juan de la Cruz, 90. Ana Lim, 72. Leo Garcia, 65. Maria struggles with word problems. Anna frequently forgets her multiplication table. And Leo finds it hard to concentrate. Suggest targeted intervention for each. Teachers, is this secured or too much information? Is this TMI? Can you please tell me if it's TMI, too much information, not secured? Thumbs up if you agree with me. This is an unsecured TMI. So what are we going to do? I'm going to give you a version that is much secured. You can do something like this. Here are the test scores for grade 4 math students. Student A, 85. Then you can put struggle with math problems. Student B, 90. No specific struggle. Student C, 72. Frequently forgets multiplication tables. Student D, 65. Finds it hard to concentrate. So based on this information, suggest targeted intervention for each student. Okay? This is an anonymous way of talking to Gabi. Okay? You just label them student A, B, C, D. You need to put the test scores and the problems, but at least it's not an identifiable or PAI. We avoided adding on PII, not PAI, PII. Okay? You can also remove the test scores kasi you also identified the problems already. Regardless of the scores, I think what is important is for Gabi to understand what problems are your students experiencing so that we can that Gabi can give a targeted response. Okay? So teachers, thumbs up. Can you do thumbs up if these things are clear? Okay. All right. So again, teachers, just a quick note, what we have done for today is to look at these four parts. We did a practice of the prompt cards. We learned about prompt engineering. We shared with you sample Gabay workflow, and we reminded you of the ethical use of Gabay. Okay, just a quick summary of what we've done. I know that part two is a lot of brain information, but we made sure that we share with you important ideas like prompt engineering, workflow, and ethical, so that you don't compromise how you use Gabay, and we are in line with our ethical and digital standards, privacy, while maximizing Gabay. So this is part of a longer module that we have. What we have done is to share a quick version to you, just an introduction, and in the succeeding webinars, we'll be talking more about this.